Clobberin time!
Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed.
Roger. Ready to move out.
Clobberin time! Clobberonimo! It's clobberin' time! Clobberonimo!
Clobberonimo. Greetings, clobberers, clobberonimos, clobberooskies, clobberoids, clobberets, clobberians, clobs thises and clobs that is. And for those who do not yet clob, the secret is to bang the rocks together, guys, just like Gwagnar says. Yeah, thank you for that one. Shout out to Gwagnar. Appreciate you. All right, buddies, what's up? It's Monday night Mark C. Comics Talk time. And hey, there's nothing too special going on. I think I'll have a little bit of a random comics review, a little bit of a tribute to passing of Keith Giffen, as we talked about a little bit the other night on the Clubhouse. So something like that. And hello. Good to see you all. Big shout out, of course, first to our great friend Mark D with the C, the chief engineer. Hopefully he's resting. Hopefully he's asleep right now. He's been a little bit under the weather. Was not able to do the geekery last night. He will return next week with a big report on his adventures at New York City Comic Con on Saturday that he had. But until then, hopefully he is getting some rest. Hopefully he's not listening. He's resting, but you are listening, buddy. We're all thinking about you. We're missing you, and we're hoping you feel better and get some rest. But he's hanging in there now. So for those who knew, and we're sorry that he was not able to make it last night. But again, big shout out. Everyone put an MCD in there in that chat if you would like for him. And yeah, we'll miss him, and hopefully we'll see him again later in the week. And just hopefully he's getting better. It's the most important thing. So let's see here. Do a few show notes. I had, as always, a fantastic time tonight hanging out on the great J-Man's channel with J-Man and Sean reviewing 3 more in our ongoing, everlasting mission to review all of the Legion of Superheroes 1958, the silver, all the way to the ends of the Bronze Age era, 1989, chronological order, all of their storied appearances, not like if they pop on a panel for 5 seconds, but all the stories they appeared in chronological order, and it's been quite a journey and got a long, fun way to go. And that J-Man is getting so many great new Legion comics. It's amazing. So thanks, buddies. I really enjoyed that. And, of course, had a great time this past Saturday night on Saturday Night Star Trek. It was loads of fun. And I just can't wait to, can't wait for the next one. And of course, you always, let's see what we got going on here. Get some of these, do some deleting here. Let me make so much space. All right. So, bop. What's going on? Someone keeps buzzing me. Hang on a second. Oh, okay. Never mind. I can handle that later. All right. Oh, okay. Wednesday night, as always, be back here with some wild card talk. Who never knows? We never know what it'll be. Of course, had a great time last week talking to the great Michael French from Retro Blasting Pal. This week it could just be me hanging around by myself, hanging out with you guys. Not by myself because you guys are here. And then there's that clubhouse. The clubhouse is always in session. We will see that hopefully the chief engineer will be, if he can't make it, it'll be cool. We'll let him get rest. But if he can, he and Raquel will be here. Looking forward to that. Of course, Tuesdays and Thursday nights, I'm always hanging out with the great Tom Connors on his amazing channel. The Midnight's Edge After Dark gang over there, 6 p.m. Central for that. And then, like I say, the Wednesday and Thursday, the wild card, the clubhouse. And then Friday nights, back on the Great J-Man channel, 7 p.m. Eastern, reviewing Jack Kirby's Fourth World with both J-Man and Sean, and we're doing that all in alphabetical, listen to me, alphabetical, what an idiot, chronological order. Having a great time doing that. And then there's, of course, the great Nick Weiser's channel at 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. He's got the Comic Shop Talk Show. And that's Friday Night Comic Shop Talk. It's always a lot of fun with the great gang over there. And, of course, we'll be back. Wrong one. Well, that's the wrong one. There we go. Oh, I got rid of the wrong one, didn't I? Where are you? Where are you at, you sneaky? There you go. I did something wrong. Always. That's wrong, too. I did. Hang on a second. What the cripes is wrong with you? Well, I don't have I could have sworn I had a picture of that one. For that one. Maybe we backed them up. Maybe they're different names. No, well. I'll find it later. Saturday Night Star Trek. Trust me, it'll be here. Did something wrong with the covering. So, and of course, yes, I can't wait for the Clubhouse to do our Blake 7 review. But let's shout out our wrenches. And then we'll shout out all you wonderful friends who are here in the chat with us already. Of course, whether they're here or not, they get to shout out the great bronze wrencher himself, Eric K. Hope you're doing great out there, buddy. The Vindicator wrencher, the Great White North, Chris Persia. Thank you much, somebody. Love that thumbnail, man. Appreciate that what you did. That as always, buddy. D. Bud Martin, the wrench of iron. Lord Thoth, Lord God of the wrenches, and shout out to Lady Thoth as well. Avon lives, long live the Legion. J-Man, partner in crime on Earth B, fellow Legion reviewer extraordinaire, and Kirby reviewer extraordinaire. Thank you, buddy. Let's see what I do. I hit. All right. Stephen Callell, Super Wrench Extreme. Maddie's daddy, what's up, buddy? Thor in Vegas. LaFanti Outsidery, the Rascally Wrencher, and Max Redstone, Master of the Limerick, Music Meister Extraordinaire. And let's see who's with us in the chat tonight. Gwagnar. Thanks, buddy. Always appreciate your work. And bang the rocks together, guys. Who else is here? Dave C. What's up, Dave C? Good to see you. Ravenscroft, hello there. Maddie's daddy's driving home. Hey, buddy, be careful out there. So just Dave, she says just moved to a new apartment in Florida, still using hotspot. Well, okay, gotcha. Well, good to see you. Good luck on the move, and congrats on the move. Hopefully it's a nice place. Hope you're enjoying it. Penny, hey Penny, good to see you there, dear. So, and shout out to anyone who might be lurking, or anybody who might be watching on the rerun down. We appreciate you all to rewatch. Please all hit like and subscribe, and it's great to see you all, to have you all. Really appreciate it. Comics talk. Let's see here. As you all know, one event that did happen in comics of any relevance right now, since there's no modern comics industry that has any relevance to anything. Of course, we all know. But one sad thing is some of the longer time creators, as in artists and stuff, and writers and writer artists, have been passing away a little bit over the past couple of years. Sadly. And this week we lost a pretty big name in comics, I would say. One of the, my favorite Legion of Superheroes artist for sure, Mr. Keith Giffen, and passed. And we mentioned this a little bit the other night on the Clubhouse, but we can't do the comic show without mentioning it as well. So, and so we'll look at a little bit of art from his, and then we'll review, since we're just a review night as well. We will review a Keith Giffen comic. And just again, he was 70 years old. And one of the things that was kind of funny that in passing that I should pass on, should say, no pun, is he posted something on his Facebook page the day, I believe it was either the day of or the day before that he passed away. And I guess, he knew he was sick or whatever, or something like that. And one of the things he wrote, I don't know if he knew he was going or what. Something he knew he was going, or he knew he was about to going to be gone. But he posted anything to get out of going to New York City Comic Con. So I thought that was pretty funny. And again, he had a sense of humor, a good sense of humor. And was a good writer at times. Now, look, I have my differences with him, or you could say as a comic book fan, my issues with him. Picasso, dead man. I had my issues with him. Disagreements, but that's life. So, hey, Chris, good to see you there, bro. Thank you, by the way, as always. But he was still, again, whatever things I disagree with him about or whatever, that's neither here nor there so much. I mean, I could talk about those a little bit because they're honest, but at least he was a terrific artist. As I said before, just to show a little bit for those who may not have been here on Thursday night. Keith Giffen started out in the 70s. Well, I mean, look at that. Looks like Kirby did it. He was definitely doing a Kirby rip. True, D-Bud. Only issues, not omnibuses. Good one, sir. Good one. Well played. So he was heavily influenced by Kirby. I mean, look, if you're going to copy somebody, copy the best. I wish he'd have done the Defenders longer than he did. Well, Gwagnar, how did you guess my random review that was a total secret? And it was. You nailed it, buddy. That's exactly what I'm going to be reviewing. I was a few minutes late because I was finishing it up, as a matter of fact. So his Defender stuff, definitely. Oh yeah, Phantom Outside. Oh, you terrible. Phantom Outsider says the full quote: anything to avoid going to NY Comic Con and seeing Mark D with a C. Wow, Keith Giffen must really have it in. Must have had it in for Mark D with a C. I'm not going to stand for that kind of slander against my chief engineer. Only I can slander my chief engineer. This transition was the first Giffen book I ever picked up, says Dima. That's right. Hey, Retro Nerd Girl. Good to see you, my dear. I hope you're doing well. All right. Everybody, Retro Nerd Girl's here. Love you, love you. Love to see you. Love seeing y'all here tonight. Thank you all so much. So then his style changed drastically. You know, I remember I was reading, it was the early 80s. It was picking up Legion at the time. I don't know, Fanty and would remember this for sure as a Legion fan. There were some really crappy artists on the book for a while. Then all of a sudden, I really liked the Pat Broderick issues. And Giffen was doing some backups in them. And then all of a sudden, he took over the front of the book. I'm like, man, what happened? I want Matthew Broderick. Ironhide 84. Good to see you, my friend. So I really wanted it to be Pat Broderick to take over the book, but didn't work out that way. But then it got better because then all of a sudden, along comes art, unprecedented art that I never even imagined would take over. But just the Legion just got one of the most beautiful books around for a while there. And I was really loving his work on the Legion. And he, again, there are a lot of great Legion artists. But Keith Giffen became my favorite of these artists. And that's against some tough competition. I mean, I love Grell, Swan, Cockrum, James Sherman, who was much shorter lived on the series, but still, like I said, I mentioned Broderick. Those were all the top Legion artists for me. And then, Steve Lytle, of course. But Giffen might be that just at that number top spot for me as my favorite Legion artist. And that's, again, like I said, that's against some company now. No question about it. And he also, this is when he was working on it with Paul Levitt. So Paul Levitt was doing a terrific job on the stories. I have this. I love this cover so much. I have it on a T-shirt. Yay! That's got. And I look at that. I mean, this was just his extraordinary work on Legion, and of course, the Great Darkness saga. And as I tell everybody, I have this poster, this big 3.5 foot long poster on my wall, framed for 30-something years now, over 32 years, whatever it is. Oh, that happens, Quagnar. I know. I've watched streams like many minutes behind on occasion. So yeah. So yeah, Ravenscroft. That's what I'm saying. I'd seen Pat Broderick on Micronauts at that point. He did Captain Adam years later, but when I saw him on Legion, I was hoping he was going to be there for a while. But turned out, I mean, Giffen, like I said, Giffen was even better, and I love it. This right here this just. Like I said, I just love this picture. I can look at it, stare at it all day. It's beautiful. Like I said, this my framed version of this is. Hey, JD Lewis, good to see you, brother. My framed version of this, it's been on my wall for over 30-something years, is like 3 feet long or something, 3.5 feet long, and like, you know, about a foot or so wide, a foot or so tall, you know, so it's like a real long ass poster, of course, as you can see. Now, the original Great Darkness Saga trade paperback came with a smaller fold out of this, but then the poster came out, and I was never able to get the poster until like a few years later, when a buddy of mine, someone traded in a bunch of comics and some other stuff. And hey, Claude Salling, good to see you. Good one, Maddie's daddy. By the way, I caught that. I see what you did there. But this one, he had this one, and it was already framed. And a friend of mine at a comic shop called me up, and he gave it to me as a gift, and I'll never forget it. And it'll hang on my wall for as long as I have a wall to hang it on. Even if I only had a wall, if I only had one wall, it would be on there. Yeah, they can't do Legion. They try it. Yeah, you're right. They should never try to do Legion, but they keep in the theater, Ravenscroft. But they always try to do it in other ways. And there's this new DC animated film from last year, which Legion fans tell me, that the ones who've seen it tell me that it would be bad for my blood pressure. So don't watch it. It's horrible, that new animated thing. So they can screw off. Well, Fanty, we did used to look at this poster and play name the characters and stuff. Obviously, all the main ones are easy, you know, but there's some pretty obscure ones on there. But they're, you know. Yeah. No, I hear you. So Giffen, of course, his Legion stuff is what he's probably, for me, best known for. A lot of people don't know him for that. They know him. He later worked on Justice League International as a writer with J.M. DeMatteis. Of course, great art by Kevin McGuire. Your Muslim uncle, welcome. Good to see you. Hey, buddy. And he co-wrote a lot of other stuff. He co-wrote Legion later when he didn't do much, when he did the art. I hated 5 years later, so I don't like that he did that with the beer bombs. Not my speed for Legion. I don't like it. A lot of people do. You like it? Fine. I don't. This will always be his masterpiece right here for me. His Great Darkness Saga is a masterpiece as well, though. His let's see, but there's some who like his work on Annihilation, which he co-wrote with Ian Abnett and Dan Lanning, I believe, in the early 2000s. I was so checked out of Marvel then. Many people do like those. I'm citing those because when a lot of people talk about that, they're naming that as something that they like the best of his. So a lot of people are a big fan of his work on Annihilation from Marvel. I of course also love his Ambush Bug of the early 80s. Which was a lot of fun. Let's see here. And of course, the only reason he's even getting close to being into reported in the media, I've been seeing this circulated with a picture of the gentleman himself on his left, of course, on your left is Lobo, which you did create with Roger Slipher. And the idiots who did this picture, he is a co-creator of Rocket Raccoon. That's the only reason it got this much attention. I mean, it would have gotten attention in the comic book press, but it got out there in the mainstream a little bit, like the New York Times and the LA Times and stuff, because of how popular Rocket Raccoon is. They don't even use his art. This is not his art for Rocket Raccoon. This is Al Milgrom. He co-created from a Hulk cover. He co-created Rocket Raccoon in the original story, drew it with Bill Mantlo, and that's why it got some attention. And I don't really think. I think he that Quag says Red Annihilation and Annihilation Conquest, it was so much better than the Civil War that was going on at the time. Yes, I've heard that, and I'll probably go take a look at it. I hated Marvel at the time anyway. I hated Civil War. I just went and looked at a few bits, and I'm not so what I've seen of Annihilation because people have been talking about it, and I've heard things about it before. I know he convinced on the plot for it. I don't know how much of the writing he did, but he did work with two very well popular writers, Abnett and Lanning. That kind of art style at the time wasn't necessarily my bag, but I might look into it. I might read it. I might just go ahead and do that. We will see. But anyway, so yeah, that's why he got a little bit more ink right now because of his connection to, especially Rocket. But even Lobo's going to be in movies soon. But Rocket's far more popular, of course. So that makes sense. But his Great Darkness saga stands out to me as his greatest work in a comic. And let's see some. Let's see here. Some people are intimidated by the vast history of the Legion, but that's the type of thing that attracts me to a project. I love starting a book on issue 300 or whatever makes you want more. Yeah, and you've got if you jump in the middle somewhere, like a lot of people have done, so many of us have done as kids when it comes to certain comic series. I know people say, here's something I've been hearing a lot, with the popularity of One Piece, something I haven't read, but my son is a big fan of. He loves the manga the best. He does like the anime, and he's always on my ass to read him. But he's on the ground floor, and a lot of people are. But one thing I've heard from so many people, when I tell them, "Oh yeah, everyone, how popular One Piece is and how it's very well liked," they go, "Oh, I couldn't read that. It scares me because there's too much of it. I don't want. It's intimidating." Now, the people that have said that to me are relatively younger. Well, who isn't younger than me? But when I go, "Oh, okay, sure." If I got into something that like it was 20-something years late, in this case it's 20-something years. That's nothing. Most things I like are way more than that, obviously. But and someone tell me, okay, it's that good, and you could go back. It's got 20 years of backlog of that quality building up. And I'm like, I wouldn't be intimidated. I'd be thrilled. Like, wow, I got a long chunk of great stuff to read or to watch, whatever the case may be. But people are intimidated. They're afraid they have to go back and, oh my God, it's such hard work to go read things. Really? I think you'd be excited if you found something interesting that you caught a snip of here and there of it's later and you go, wow, this is pretty good. I want to go back and read all of it now. That's the way I think. But I'd be like, oh, it's so intimidating. There's just so much of it. I've heard from, I'm just saying, a number of people that I've talked to in various places, including this past Saturday at a con I was at, telling a younger person about One Piece. And One Piece in particular seems to get that a lot. Obviously, it's got its hardcore. It's very popular. And, of course, the TV show's helping with that. But a lot of people going, oh, I never could get into One Piece. I say, oh, you didn't like it? No, I didn't try it. It's just so much. It's so intimidating. There's too much of it. I'm like, that's not an excuse. It's like saying, I would really like to read the Fantastic Four or Spider-Man, but there's so many years of comics. There's nowhere to start. And I just intimidated. Usually people in my day, in the old days, I hate to sound like an old man. They go, well, I'll go find out where I should start. I'll ask someone who knows about it. Maybe they can give me a starting on point. Or I'll just go back to the beginning. That's easy enough. Now they're like, it's intimidating to go back to 20 years to start. Why? I would think it would be cool. You'd be like, wow, look at all that stuff I have to look forward to. If I like it, I've got a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. I don't get the mentality. Maybe I do, and I just don't want to be cruel. Exactly. Ravenscroft. Rocket Raccoon is the least of his stuff, and it's one that focus on. Yeah, I know, but you know what? Where we live now. Iron said, I kind of liked Keith Gibbons' Thanos miniseries. It was a really weird one, but a unique and a really cosmic story. Plus, you get a really different version of Star-Lord before the movies. In other words, the real Star-Lord. A buddy of mine hates the movie Star-Lord because he's right. He's right. He's basically a horny man-child. 1 year and 1 day member, but long-time viewer says, Larry, look and see Larry, what's up, buddy? And thank you for the member chat. Appreciate you. Captain Infinity and beyond. Good to see you, buddy. And it's interesting. Like I said, I have a buddy of mine that hates. He hates Star-Lord in the movies, the Chris Pratt version, because he in the comic he's like a hard-nosed space cop. And hey, Doc Fortune, good to see you. In the movie, like I said, Chris Pratt, great actor and all that stuff, and I like the movies, but he's kind of like this. He's a man-child. Well, I was talking to a buddy of mine that I've known for like 40-something years at this show Saturday, and we were talking, and it's funny. He was there. He and his brother were there, and they had their nieces with them. They were bringing around, and their nieces were really. I mean, these kids were really young, and they're not even in their teens yet, and they're both love comics and all this kind of stuff. Real sweethearts. And one of them, I got to talking to one of them about One Piece, and she said that to me. She said, "Oh, I can't. I don't want to read that because she loves Star Wars and she loves comics and all this stuff." And I'm like, "Well, why don't you want to read that?" And she goes, "Because there's so much of it. It's scary." I'm like, dear, look, no, don't do that. Look at all that. On the other hand, what if you like it? You got all that stuff ahead of you to read. Man, don't approach it that way. But at least she's a child. It's different. I'm gonna be like so-called adults going, "Oh my God, there's too much of it." Yeah, what's daunting about it? I mean, hey, believe me, people are starved for good stuff to read. If you get interested in something and there's a 20-year backlog of it, damn, knock yourself out. Go for it. So Giffen, he changed this beautiful style. And this is one of the problems I had with him. And I hated the fact that he hated Karate Kid, which I disagree with him. I love the character so much so that he killed him twice. He killed Karate Kid. Damn him. Well, Levitz did too. Damn it, Levitz was in on it. But anyway, this beautiful style here was not long for it. After being Kirby for a while and then doing this great style that he refined, inked by Larry Malmstedt there, of course, on Ace Cast Iron. What's up, bro? I was just talking about that. Good to see you, my great friend Ace Cast Iron's here. And anyway, he discovered a Venezuelan graphic novel and a Venezuelan artist by the name of Jose Munoz. And it was called Alex Center. This was in the early 80s. And all of a sudden, we started seeing Giffen's art undergo a strange transformation. Whole pages of Ambush Book and Legion and other things weren't just copy. They were flat. I mean, they were flat out almost. Okay, they weren't. He didn't Xerox them, but he redrew pages and pages from this. Again, it's a graphic novel called Alex Center. I have it somewhere. I remember tracking it down. So much so that it became a big deal in the comic book press at the time. The Comics Journal had these long articles exposing it called The Swipe File, and Giffen didn't appreciate it. And, but I mean, he says he didn't do it on purpose, and fine. I've never been able to chance to meet him to ask him or anything. But it still changed his whole style to look really ugly, even on Legion. And this beautiful style here, he never brought back. We never got to see this again. And that's I just love it. That's why this was made him my favorite Legion artist. And my good buddy Ace Cast Iron says, I would love to see a deep dive on Giffen's complete art change. I can find that for you. It was in a Comics Journal. I know we talked about it a little over the years, but I would love to know more. Long live the Legion. F 10 years later. F John Burns A. Of course, F John Burns A. Always. Thank you, buddy. That's great to see you, man. I miss you, buddy. Ironhide says, I clicked on an interview some channel did with Levitz, waiting to hear some cool stuff about his writing. Instead, the man focused on Levitz being editor over Death of Superman Nightfall. Ugh. Yeah, he was. He was also the president of DC, but I like his writing better than anything else. I love it wasn't bad as his Trencher art style. He twitched on, Trencher was some weird stuff by Keith, no question about it. And once the interviewer started gushing about Screw 52, Alan Scott, Paul Levitz started to kind of agree, I had to click off. Oh, yeah. Ugh. Don't get me started. Yeah, I hear you, Ironhide. It's bullshit. Screw 52, Alan Scott is a piece of shit filth. That's not Alan Scott, not the real deal, not the Golden Age one. So, but that's neither here nor there. But I appreciate you bringing that up, though, because it's true. Doug Fortune, Star Lord's dad is Jason is Spartax, not exactly. Ego's not his father. I hated that shit. He's a Weasley backstabber too. Sad we didn't get him in the film. Yeah. I love Kurt Russell. I wish they didn't do that to Star-Lord. And yes, Keith Giffen on Trencher, that was some ugly stuff. But you know what? It would have been so bad if he was using that weird experimental style on other stuff, even on Ambush Bug. It's not so bad, even though he's ripping off that other artist who didn't appreciate it, by the way. He didn't like having his art stolen, in a sense, stolen. But it didn't work on Legion. It looked horrible. I remember I would start picking up new issues of Legion back then after looking really good. And all of a sudden, like, oh my God, what is this? Keith Giffen, are you sick? Did you start drawing with your feet? What the hell? So, I know the man's passed away, but I'm just being honest about what happened back then. I love a lot of what he's done. Doc Fortune says, Golden Age Alan Scott is my favorite Green Lantern. Well, that's a good choice. I can't blame him. I'm a Hal guy, but I love Alan. So I hear you, buddy. But, now's the time to, even though I'm being honest out there that, there are things that bother me, that's human nature. There are always going to be things that bother you about everybody. But he did some sensational work. Brogru. Good to see you, my friend. And tonight, I will review a comic by Keith Giffen that I believe may be one of the first, if not the first comics I ever read. Certainly one of the first ones I ever read that he wrote. Let's see here. All right. Righty then. Okay. Let's see here. What are you doing, DC Presents? All right. Hang on a second. Get some info on it first. What are you doing? Oh. All right. And what do you cut it out? All right. Okay, we have DC Comics Presents volume only, by the way. Number 59, July 1983, cover date, which means, of course, it came out in April. Or April, May, something like that. Anyway, I remember buying this one, of course. I was buying it. I would think I was purchasing the title sporadically, on and on there. Of course, cover artists are Keith Giffen and Mike DiCarlo. Man, I just saw him at a con last year. I should have talked to him about this. I'm mad at myself. Executive editor, of course, the great Dick Giordano. Editors, of course, Julia Schwartz and E. Nelson Bridwell were the actual editors on there, of course, as well. Writer, Keith Giffen and Paul Levitz. This has been very early for Keith at DC. Not very early, but early. Penciler, of course, Keith Giffen, Kurt Schaffenberger, and with Schaffenberger inking and Carl Gafford on the colors, letters, Ben Oda. For those wondering why I give all those credits, I'm a big believer in credits. Comic book creators and writers and artists, and even letters and inkers, they've never, and colors, they've been screwed enough in the world, but around here they get the credit. So, just the way we roll up and heal. This is an hilarious one here, Boris. This is the actual second appearance of Ambush Bug. He originally appeared in issue number 51 or 2. I can't remember the exact issue number. It was with Giffen did work on that. Paul Kupperberg and Keith Giffen wrote that one. It was with the Doom Patrol, but he's barely in it. This was the funnier one. And this is one of the first ones I read. So let's just basically go through it a little bit. I'm a big sucker for the Legion of Substitute Heroes, so that's kind of another reason why I wanted to do this one. And also, it's called Ambush Bug 2, or Just When You Thought It Was Safe to Start Reading, DC Comics Presents Again. And dedicated to the premiere of Superman artist Joe Shuster. So, there he is. Faster than a speeding bullet, more power than a locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. Look at this guy's bird. It's plane. It's birds, a plane. Anyway, great art by. I really like Schaffenberger inking Giffen. It gives this kind of sense that it's kind of what we need. Something like this. Whoa! I bought 30 copies of this book at Liquidators. Handed them out to everyone I could. Says Guagnar. Wow! Oh man, dude! Big applause to Guagnar. Cool. I remember this book. Everyone was talking about it, how much fun it was. It was just kind of a goofy, fun issue. And again, nice job by both Giffen and Schaffenberger, giving it a Joe Shuster look. So it's party time, as you know. Ambush Bug. I don't know if any of you read any of the Ambush Bug miniseries that were pretty hilarious at the time. Crazy stuff. I loved them. I think those he mostly did with a guy named Robert Lawrence Fleming. Helped him write them. But so Ambush Superman happens to be flying, and he teleports himself right on Superman's back, right when he's flying into the future. You idiot! And all of a sudden, he ends up out in front of Legion headquarters. Near it anyway. What's the matter, Supes? Can't you take a joke? You have to be one of the most colossal idiots in history. Superman's calling somebody an idiot, man. But Superman's just nice, isn't he? So he basically, it's not bad enough to use your little bug teleporters to commit crimes. Now you're using them to jump on my back while I'm traveling through time. You could have fallen off and gotten lost in some forgotten century. Worse still, you didn't. So now I have to do something with you. Luckily, I know the right people in this century to take care of you. Hey, this is a wild setup. Isn't that Epcot Center over there? Slow down, Soups. I've never been to Disney World before. Sigh. Are you sure you didn't plead insanity at your trial? Here we are, Legion of Superheroes headquarters. Oh, no. The security shield is up. That means there's no one on duty. Naturally. Hey, is that the new Matterhorn ride? You're a fun guy, Soups. Quiet, Buggy. Blast. I was on my way to further into the future, and I certainly can't bring this loom with me. That leaves me only one alternative in 2983. And hope it's not a big mistake. So, Soups, come on, admit it. You never carry Lois this way. Quiet or I'll fry your circuits. It takes a lot to get Superman angry. So Soups is I love it. And Soups brings him to the substitutes, who are now at the big new Legion headquarters. They got the old Fortress Lad clubhouse looking thingy going on. Although thought the other one was destroyed. But anyway, you don't have to worry about a thing, Superman. And again, it's funny how he's Superman, not Superboy. It's like, yeah, don't tell everybody Superman was here. Nah, he didn't. Legion of Substitute Heroes can hold on to this character while you or the Legionnaires get back, and they put him in something. She'll be perfectly safe and harmless here. I hope so, Polar Boy. And so he's got to go to the 40th century to run an errand. And Polar Boy, look, and I love Polar Boy. Short little dude, isn't he? I love the subs. They're great. Ambush Bug was just a regular human, right? Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. He had these little bug teleporter thingies, and he was a little nut. And he just had, basically, when in his own series, he was it's just a spoof series where he broke the fourth wall a lot, and a lot of parody and just making fun of DC Comics. And fun, it wasn't considered like a serious bit of the continuity or anything like that. Even though he started out in DC Comics Presents. So, anyway, he's got to go to the 40th century. In the meantime, you sure you can hold him? The ambush bug isn't the most dangerous supervillain I've ever encountered, but he's the most he might be the most aggravating. And of course, I said they can handle him. One question, Superman: what exactly does the ambush bug do? He has little flying electronic bugs as drones, and if he gets loose, he can instantly teleport to whoever one of them is. Please don't let that happen. Why am I so sure I'm going to regret this? Boy, gee, the others will be sorry they missed Superman. He's terrific. I better check on on our guest. Can't disappoint Superman. Oh no, he's gone. Yep, of course. But I put him in there. My boo. He hit Polar Boy. Damn it. He beat up Polar Boy. That pisses me off. Ravenscroft. Oh, Deadpool is pretty much an exact, not exact, obviously, because he's different. He's a blatant ripoff of Ambush Bug. I've always said that. Now, the funny one, the one that, not the original Deadpool, of course, who still was after Ambush Bug. Initially didn't, but all the funny, the humor stuff with Ambush Bug, yes, he's just total. Marvel just, Marvel and DC ripped each other off all the time, and that was basically Marvel doing Ambush Bug. Yep. I love Giffen and Schaffenberger's homage to Shooter in this issue. Yes, J.D. Lewis, I'm right there with you, buddy. It was a lot of fun. He was a big nut in his own series. He was at Arkham when they furred the Joker. So he, of course, re-drove the Joker insane. Or they cured him, you mean? When they cured the Joker, so he drove him back insane, yes. Doc Fortune, how do you interpret the fourth wall breakers? Are they crazy? Or is it kind of the superpower? Do you think other characters like the Joker know they are in a comic? Or am I overthinking it? I don't know. I mean, you might be overthinking it a little bit. I don't think the Joker's supposed to know. I mean, only the fourth wall breakers that they have a little fun with. Just depends on what you read. The Joker definitely is in his own little world. So, no, just Ambush Bug, Deadpool, Psycho Pirate, maybe. Hey there, Fairfax. So let's see. Anyway, where were I? Okay. So yeah, no, he's a little bit, yeah. Only him. He's not to be taken seriously. You won't see him in any kind of serious. He was on the last episode of the brilliant, great TV show Batman: The Brave and the Bold, by the way, which I loved. So he pops out. I just love this art. The art itself, man. Look at the face. So Schuster. Giffen is good at aping, obviously aping Kirby and stuff like that. Actually, this kind of panel is kind of funny here with the subs. When we have Infectious Lass and Porcupine Pete. Thanks for coming to the Hollow Show, Infectious Lass. I don't get many dates, Porcupine Pete says. Me either, Porcupine Pete. Not even now that I joined the Substitute Heroes. I kind of thought that would improve my reputation. Well, you have given the team some class. How about keeping me company while I take over monitor duty from Paul? Or there come the bugs, Ambush Bugs. Yep. You know what? Hey, yes, she's Infectious Lass and can make people sick, but she is a looker. Just saying. Who here would not date Infectious Lass, right? Maybe not. Good to see you, Brogu. All right. So, yep, they cured the Joker, and so he kept popping up on him, arresting the Joker, which made the Joker so paranoid. Again, he cracked and went insane. Yeah, but that was an Ambush Bug, right? There were a couple of Ambush Bug miniseries and some specials. So anyway, there we go. He idiot hit poor old Paul Crin. No, it'll be Breck Bannon. Sorry. Oh, it's called. Why am I missing out with Paul Cran record? Yeah, Polar Boy's Breck Bannon. In between centuries, that takes care of that. Now for the ambush bug, I really was much too paranoid about leaving him with the substitute heroes. I mean, they may have a dumb name, but they are competent. Whoops. Look like the ambush bug will have to wait. Superman's work is never done in 2983 AD. Had to put the AD on there. Uh-oh. Oh, no. I knew it. When will I learn to trust my instincts? No time to kick myself, though. Got to grab that idiot before he whack. Well, Chlorophyll Kid made a tree grow right in front of Superman. Made Superman to fly through it. Thunk. Well, you missed him by that much, pal. Yeah, but look what I got. Superman. Figured your power caused this tree is instantly Chlorophyll Kid. Mind explaining why the ambush bug got loose? Steady lad, I don't bite. Yeah, well, you know how you left the ambush bug with Polar Boy in our quarters. You see, Polar Boy was kind of embarrassed to admit that our only security cell was, well, broken. We were fixing the circuitry, and Fire Lad sneezed. But what exactly was that globe Polar Boy put ambush bug in? Would you believe my aquarium tank? I sort of boiled the water in it accidentally. Raoul, give me strength. Delightful. This absolutely gets curiouser and curiouser. More heroes coming out of the woodwork all the time. This simply rife with possibilities. So Stone Boy tries to jump on him, but he pops away, and poor old Stone Boy gets embedded in the ground. I really love the art, though. I love the Schaffenberger making this look like Joe Shuster style art. Keeley Child, Road Tide. It's a lot of fun. Ravenscroft, that character from Astro City, the Broken Man. He broke the fourth wall. That was creepy. Yes, he did. That was, yeah. He did. That was a strange thing he was doing with that. I don't think he ever really resolved it either. But I remember that. So anyway, Superman wraps him up in the cape and takes him off, but no. He popped away again. And then he puts Superman's cape on the stupid alien. I dub these Superman 2. Drops the poor alien, but the subs save him. Color Kid. Oh, my goodness. Well, he's really mean to the subs, too. When he's was it? Nah, that was this. So they really tell them that the only they could help Soups is by joining my side. Nah, that would be nasty. These morons are too much. I'm going to have to stay here forever, wherever here is. Nice place though, a bit too clean, but I love the costumes. They should have used these guys in Star Wars. Now, where has my little super dummy gone? Blah, 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 blah. Wait a minute. So he finds the Superman Museum. Is that the only time Schaffenberger used Golden Age eyes for Soups? I don't know. Ace. This was issues dedicated to Joe Shuster, so I don't know. Could be possible. And so Chief Zindak is all pissed off, and then we find out that he's going to the Superman Museum. Bah, bah, bah. Great Krypton. Look how weird he looks without his. I love this shot here, even though he's without his cape. That looks total. That's a nice Schuster, like a throwback right there. But you can tell that's mostly Schaffenberger right there. But it's a nice job by Giffen and Schaffenberger to do that. And so, let's see here. Okay. So, sorry, I hate this. I got to get a new mouse. Jesus. Hey, wait for us, Superman. Why? So you can cause trouble? No, he didn't say that. Superman's concern is that Ambush Bug will get into the, he says, I hope Chisindak can accept my sudden exit, but the last thing I need is for that ambush idiot to discover my secret identity. No shit, huh? Especially after I get, well, he was really pissed. He's pissed. Superman is pissed. And there's another beautiful shot. No, there you go. Another very Schuster-esque shot there. Yes, Krypton, or as Brando pronounced it, Krypton. Threaten even the children of the planet Krypton. 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 The planet Krypton. My friend, I've never been otherwise. This madness is yours. Jor-El. We wisdom. All right, let's see here. Maybe a hydraulic drill, the vibration. They can't get Stoneboy out of the freaking. Jesus. They need to bring Light Lass over there. Behave yourselves, or else one wrong move and I'll kill the cake. Or let me rephrase that. And of course, Superman stops him. Kevin, he's crazy. He tried to pull my ears off. Thanks. All right. So glad you're here, Soups. Let's get down and boogie. Blast, he's got his bugs in here. He's got those stupid transporter bugs. He's chasing them all over the place. Look, it's the kryptonite displays. And he can't. This is fun. There's another great couple of shots of Superman's face. Thanks, Retro. Thanks, Retro. I know I didn't do it that well. The council has already evaluated this outlandish theory of yours. This planet will explode within 30 days, if not sooner. Or as he said before that, I can't yell that word. Never mind. Oops. This is no fantasy. No careless product of wild imagination. No, my good friends. The civic charge is listed here against the individuals. Oh, man. Stupid mouse is messing up. Urgh. Sorry, Superman, isn't it any way to stop him from teleporting? He's got to find those stupid bugs. Hey, would you believe nothing up my antenna except baby bugs? Bam. So Superman knocks the crap out of him. Oh, and what's it? Color Kid tells who is it? Oh, first of all, wait a minute. There's a line here. But this is a nice room. I wonder if this is a preview for Return of the Jedi. There he is. Would distract him, blah, blah, blah. Says, how? Use your feminine wiles, he tells Infectious Lass. I don't know how. And so she walks up to Infectious Lass. For those who don't know, is a member of the Substitute Heroes. Her superpower is being able to make people sick. Metamousness. Until he eventually found his own style. Schaffenberger initially aped Wayne Boring's style in very early Lois Lane stories. Very well said. Very well said, JD. Yes, sir. Loved Wayne Boring. And what sort of stunning specimen do we have of a young whatever, but no matter. Tell me, dearie, what's your specialty? I make people sick. I'm sure you do, dearie, but seriously. Excuse me, Pop. Color kid. You didn't really think you could surprise me that way easily, did you? Especially with a dumb story about making people sick, really? We used to love this place full of fun and people. Blah, blah, blah. So basically, he still hasn't found the secret identity yet. So prejudice rears its ugly head even in the land of the mouse. He still thinks he's in Disney World. He's so crazy. What's next? The table by the kitchen doors? No, not for me. Of course, it could be a trap, and I could be president someday. Careful, Buggo boy. Check out slowly and take 2 purple hearts and call me in the morning. Huh? Some kind of camera. Hey, maybe this is what they use for all those special effects. Do not push. Bet you if I use it, I can dance like Mary Poppins. Come on. Nobody round. He presses the button on this thingy and into the Phantom Zone, biatch. The son becomes the father, and the father the son. So he fell for it. The only 2 signs of the whole museum still written in 20th century English, and he still fell for it. On the whole, Porcupine Pete, lunatics aren't your smartest criminals. Remind me to tell you about how I've tricked Mr. Mxyzptlk over the years. While the ambush bug is stuck in the Phantom Zone, I can clear the museum of his little drones, then put him back in a holding cell and get my cape back. So at the end, look at that clubhouse. And so it came to pass. I'm sorry we couldn't be more service, Superman, but it was a pleasure working with you. You're everything the legends say. Well, I'm sure your team will make your own legends. See, Superman even being nice to the subs. Someone has to be nice to. I love the subs. Be nice to the subs. I'm glad he's nice. Right now, I have to go pick up the ambush bug for the science police. It's time to head home. Please, Superman, at least share a glass of lemonade with us first. This is a special occasion. Okay, but what happened to the rest of your team? I thought some more of you were around. That's right. Stoneboy, Chlorophyll Kid, and Firelad still haven't reported in yet. Wonder what happened to them. Maybe a crane? His head would snap off, thinking, I only had to call a Legionnaire. Anyway. I was checking to see if they had a letter from T.M. Maple in this one. Whoa, they got a letter from Larry. They got a letter from Larry Houston. What if I wonder if that seems the same one that worked on all those Marvel cartoons and X-Men cartoons. He's be old enough. Ross Pearsall. Look, my friend Ross Pearsall has a letter in this. My goodness. That's why I love checking the letters pages. This is 1983. For those who don't know, the great Super Team Family blog it's that blog where he does all these faked up covers with heroes, team ups that didn't really happen. He's been doing it for a decade or more. I mean, he's like, there are thousands and thousands of them. He started with this Brave and Bold, and he did 2 in 1. Then he just changed it to Super Team Family. And then I've had him on my show back in the old days. He still comes out with them every day. You can find his blog on Facebook and stuff. And he has a blog that's really cool. I gotta go start looking at some of his blog tonight just for the fun of it, maybe later. But Ross has a letter printed. There you go, Ross. I always find letters from people I know or know of. Usually know of. No T.M. Maple in this one. And yes, someone found a letter by me one day. A while back, but that's another story. Good night, Ravenscroft. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you. So that was a fun issue. I recommend the Ambush Bug series. 21 who just like a really crazy, insane. That's the first issue, the first series right there, first mini series. And it was fun. Like I said, there were a couple series. I guess this one, Ambush Bug 2, Son of Ambush Bug, and about a couple of specials, I believe. Why isn't there an Ambush Bug omnibus? Gwagnar, why? Maybe there is. Is there an ambush bug omnibus? I'll probably read this one next. Later, I mean. That's Keith, though. That's some Keith work right there. And yeah. Ambush bug, nothing special, right? Cool McCool. Cool beans, they say. Yeah. So yeah. That's yeah. But another one gone, and hey, oh yeah, just I've read that one forever. Ironside. All right. Justice League Europe Annual number 2. My God, I need to take a look at that because it's not hitting the bell. You know what? Let's go look for that right now. What do you say? I haven't looked at that in ages. I'm trying to remember. It has a Swan Legion in it. Oh, that's a sweet recommendation. Let me try something there. Okay. Annual number 2. Let's look at that. What the hell? We got every comic of the world at our disposal. Justice League Europe. Okay, dokie. Annual number 2. Oh, wow. I remember this. That's the Legion in it. Or some of them. Wowzer. Giffen wrote it. You know what? I might review it next week or something. I think I will read this. Is it really crossover to Armageddon 2001? Barely, maybe. Hopefully, barely. Zacharot, what's up, buddy? Isn't that the one where the guy sells the earth? I don't know, Fanty, but Ironside would know. Ironhide. Guest starring the Legion in their scene is drawn. Their scene is drawn by Kurt Swan. Oliver Belamonte. Good to see you. Salute to the late comic book artist given for his work in Legion of Superheroes, plus creating DC's Lobo, Marvel's Rocket Raccoon, Blue Beetle, Reyes. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Oliver. That's what we've been doing. Been celebrating him. I just reviewed one of his comics. Now I got to find that Legion bit by Swan that you said. Wow. With help from a lot of friendly artists. Definitely have to read this again. I say again, I'm pretty sure I bought it when it came out. I was buying Europe sparsely. I bought International for a good while. But I don't know if I may not have, I wasn't buying a lot of the crossovers with that silly 2000 Armageddon crossover thing. There's Hex. Let's see. Fast comic, backlash. Well, it's got a lot of cool stuff in this. Oh my goodness, it is Legion. Pencil art by Kurt Swan. Oh wow. I'll read this and then review it because I just want to take a look at it and see if it's I had to take a look at it first. My goodness, Indie Comics, hey there. So that's yeah. Thanks for the recommendation there, Ironhide. Well done, sir. I must have this. If I don't have this comic, I must have it. I went to a show. I think everybody I know just about went to a show this weekend. Our good buddy Mark D with a C, who will, of course, shout out to you if you're hearing this, buddy. You better get some rest, man. He went to New York City Comic Con. He's a little under the weather right now. He will be back. He will be back triumphantly. And he will be back with the Geekery next week. We'll have a big report on it with all the pictures and stuff from it. And I went to a tiny one that's like a molecule compared to that one, but it's down here in the deep southish. But it had a pretty decent sized dealer haul, and it was some pretty good stuff. I only got a couple of comics, but I had a friend of mine who had picked me up something who I hadn't seen him in a couple of months. I only see him when we go to these cons, and he found me something at an Ollie's that I didn't want to spend any money because I wanted to reimburse him for that. The bastard wouldn't let me reimburse him, so I made him let me buy him lunch at least, or dinner, that is. But comics that made you laugh out loud. I said one of the few comics that made you laugh out loud. Well, cool, Ironhide. I mean, seeing that Swan Legion, oh my God, that alone is probably submission for me. So I only bought a couple, like 2 comics. I bought Brave and the Bold 124. The first one, J-Man and I reviewed for our Earth B. And I bought an Action Comics number 500 because it's been a while. So I don't think I had it anymore, and just saw it there for $5. $5. And my friend, like I said, brought me a thing he found at Ollie's, which was a Bronze Age Kirby omnibus, a DC Bronze Age DC Kirby omnibus, which had all of Kirby stuff that wasn't Fourth World from DC back at the time. A monster. I mean, you could use it to beat whales to death with. And it's just gigantic. And I can barely lift that sucker. It's like a $150-something book for like $30 or whatever. So you can't beat that. I love me some omnibus. Even if you can't really read an omnibus. You can, but it's not easy. But you got to sit on like a table and read the suckers. But they're great to have. I just can't get it. I mean, when I find a good deal on one, I'm pleased as punch. But other than that, I can't really get the expensive ones. Except for the Astro City one that's about to come out. I'm going to have to find some way to get that one. Got to have it. But I just got those things. But a lot of my friends who were there with me, they all found a bunch of cool stuff as always. And I think Mark picked up some good stuff. And I think I had some other. Oh, my buddy J-Man and Sean, they went to one Sunday. So again, like I said, a bunch of friends that went to shows this week, and they got. I mean, Sean got some cool stuff. I mean, he got a bunch of Savage Sword of Conan, like tons of them. And Jay got such a big haul of a Superboy. Mostly the point in between when it was Superboy and Legion. But he's got a bunch of old Superboys too, and some adventures that he's pretty soon he'll pass my collection of those. And I have I have a lot of adventure, not much, but I have a lot of obviously a lot of gaps in my Superboy collection. But I got a few. And then after 197, which was the Superboy and starring the Legion, I have almost a complete straight line of that. I think I got a gap or two in the 240s or 250s, maybe that I like a hole here and there, but for the most part, most all of it until the end of the Baxter run. And so with a hole here and there that I need to go back through and fill out. So Doc Fortune says Absolute New Frontier is my favorite. Oh, cool stuff. Darwin Cook, rest in peace. So, yeah. That was a very cool recommendation, Ironhide. I'm gonna keep it up there. I'm gonna go read that. One thing I was reading earlier. Oh man, what did I do? I got rid of it by accident. I was reading shit. Did anyone ever get the Secret Origins series in the 80s? The DC did, where they 50-something issues maybe, or I don't know how it was. But it was they did basically just that. It was Secret Origins, but it wasn't reprints like a lot of other stuff. It was they were redone Origins by different artists and writers and stuff. And I've been reading a few of those. Belamonte Alvarez says, it's very tempting that Ollie's has Marvel and DC Comics packs, as I see some guys on YouTube buying 7 comics packs for $10. Yep. See, the thing about Ollie's, though, that's happened for me, Oliver, and maybe just us, a few years ago when it opened up, man, it's got a big book section, right? And it's got a lot of comics, it's got tons of trades and the occasional hardcovers here and there. And it's got those comics packs, like you said. But back then, we were getting some free. I mean, it was on a lot of drivel, but not a modern crap that no one gets. This is piled up as for firewood. But it was a lot of there's a lot of kindling, but there's a lot of great stuff. And once in a while, and then back then, once in a while, you'd come across either a great deal or you'd see someone on Facebook post, "Hey, look what I got at the Ollie's near me." And of course, it was always some Ollie's up north. But once in a while, I got a few things. I got a Captain America Vibranium edition a few years ago. That's like a $225 book. I ended up getting it for $40 there. You have to have a wheelbarrow to get it out of the store. It's ridiculous, but you have Secret Origins, Maddie's daddy. And the occasion, I mean, and again, when they have really cool trades, they're like $3.99. When they have some of their hardcovers, $7, $8. I mean, incredible. If you like that sort of thing. And occasionally, and even an omnibus for like $20, $30, that's amazing. And we were finding some of that stuff down here, but it's dried up. You rarely here, not at all. My friend got me that one. He managed to snag that one in Mississippi. But I think the farther down they trickle, the lesser the supply comes down here. They go by some kind of crazy system. So if you're near one of the bigger cities or even close out there, your Ollie's is likely to have some really amazing stuff in the comics or in the book section. But people know it now, so people go grab it every week. People go hit those things. So a lot of times, not as much lately, but a little bit over the past couple of years for sure, you see someone will post on Facebook, "Wow, look what I got at Ollie's, man!" And one of them, like, I remember when that Captain America book I was just telling you about, I didn't go looking for that. I didn't know anything about it. I was looking for the Kirby book of the same kind, which was a $225 monster called Kirby. I think it was just called Kirby or something, if I remember right. Whatever it was called, and then it was just this. Someone had snagged one, and someone had saw one at an Ollie's, so I thought I would go grab it. It ended up it not being there, and it turned out, but I found the Captain America book. They have the Essential Howard the Duck Vol 1 newsprint black and white style collection. Oh, yeah, those early essentials. Yeah, and a lot of people like those black and white ones. I like black and white comics fine when they're intended in black and white, but, I do kind of like the color ones when they're intended in color. But that's still, those essentials are dirt cheap, and those are pretty cool. If you just want to read the stories, hey. More power to you there, I say. So you could get some pretty, and of course, toys now. One of the Ollie's I went to recently, and they're really starting to load up with a lot of those Marvel toys that are too expensive that nobody's buying. Now, not all. I can't. Even if I could afford this stuff easily, I got no room for anything anymore. So unless it's something I just really, really want, I won't grab it. Just because I'll start getting I don't know where to put any of this stuff. Picked up a Supergirl Silver Age omnibus at Ollie's for $35. Oh, wow. I've seen a couple of those Supergirl soft covers for like $8 or some of those. But you're saying you got the Silver Age omnibus. That's a great price for that. Like I said, I got that omnibus a couple years ago. Got a Guardians of the Galaxy Solo Stories omnibus for $20, but omnibus is still, any omnibus for $35 is great. Yeah, just wanted to read some Steve Gerber, classic Steve Gerber. Doc says, I understand that for sure. Ollie's sounds like Dollarama here in Canada, says Gwagnar. Occasionally you will find an amazing deal on a comic book trade paperback, but most times it is crap like Screw 52 trades. That's what they have an abundance of here as well. One of the crazy oddities they have had here until recently, they had like acres and acres of the late 80s Star Trek graphic novel by Chris Claremont and Adam Hughes called Star Trek Dead of Honor, which is a really good comic. It's a graphic novel in actual graphic comic format, not a trade paperback. It is a true graphic novel. It was printed originally in that format, in other words, not a trade paperback. It's a big difference. Yes, it's a pet peeve. I hate it when people call trades graphic novels. They're not graphic novels. But anyway, the misuse of the term graphic novel is a pet peeve that only a ridiculous geek could have, but I have it. And But they Dead of Honor for $3. I mean, maybe want to just buy them all up, just buy a handful just to have them. I bought another one, even though I already have it somewhere. And I bought a couple others for a couple of friends. But it's like $3 freaking bucks. And it's a really good comic. And I mean, like piles of it. And it's a second printing, obviously. Second, third, fourth person. I mean, it's a later printing, but still, it's $3 freaking bucks, man. For a really good comic. A really good, well, a real graphic novel. How about them Cowboys, Keely Chow? I see what you said. They won. You got yourself a win. You're 4-2 right now. Congrats. Beat them Chargers. You had a big fight before the game, so I wonder who's going to get in trouble for that. So there you go, Keely Chow. Congrats, buddy. Well, congrats when our buddies' teams win. There you go. And you're looking good at 4-2 on the road. Road wins are always good, man. So, yeah, I tell you, comics, they're dead. So we got to talk about the good old ones as much as we possibly can, since they're not going to make any more. What did I just read? Oh, I won't really review it, but I'll kind of just show a little of it. Last night I was reviewing, not reviewing. I was just kind of looking for something to read on that magical site that we all use. And speaking of Secret Origins, let me see here. Did I save it? Did I put it down there? When I put my Secret Origins in? Okay, I have my. Oh, there you are. So, this is a pretty cool comic here. Secret Origins Annual number 2. Nope, 3. Nope, special. There we go. So out of nowhere, and this is not really necessarily related to Keith Giffen, so we'll go back to normal. So this is just as an aside here, another comic that was pretty interesting for Batman fans. Does anyone ever remember this puppy? This weirdo Secret Origins special. It's from the 80s, I believe. Late 80s, early 90s, something like that. I don't know. Why don't I just look and find out about that? Oh, they cut everything. Oh, there they go. Yeah, 89. Okay. Great Brian Boland cover. Oh, I knew you'd have it, Quag. Quag, no doubt. Yeah, I'm not surprised you have it at all, buddy. This is a pretty interesting story. Neil Gaiman did a couple of the stories. A couple other people did it. And get some interesting art, some crazy, weird art, some of it. The Riddler story by Gaiman. It's just bizarre, man. It's basically the Batman TV show Riddler. So he decided with some strange art, by the way. Interesting art. I remember finding it fascinating when I read it when it first came out. But still, hey, Carlos Megas, good to see you. But I thought it was kind of cool. It opened up with basically Batman, pops in this hotel room with this visiting journalist. Is asleep. It tells him, I think this project is foolish. He said, I know why you're in Gotham City. I think this project is foolish and unwise, misguided, possibly even malicious. Go home, Mr. Jones. Yeah, it's you, but I thought you thought wrong, Jones. This is my town, and I don't approve of your project. I think it's dangerous. Yeah, sure, it's dangerous for you. You fostered the idea that these people are just criminals, lunatics. You've never let them tell their stories like you're going to. What are you going to tell the public? These people are just misunderstood victims of society, and I'm the big bad wolf. It's not as simple as that, Mr. Jones. No, it's not. No, it's not dangerous for me. It's dangerous for you. You don't scare me. And that's a real pity. Don't I? So basically, he's trying to warn this stupid reporter who's in town trying to get interviews with super Batman's villains. Good night, bro, Groot. Thank you for being here. And this is random review night after all. So basically, just go through it quickly. And basically, he's telling his friends that these, yeah. Did he threaten you? Yes, Batman. I can't believe he popped in there. Yeah, well, he sort of did. Yeah. So this dope. All they're interested in is for interviewing these villains, because these villains never get to talk. The Scarecrow won't talk to them. He'll only make a speech. They're talking about all the weird crap that the villains are giving to him. And then they called this guy called in and said he's the Riddler. And they can't reach the Joker. They keep negotiating with him. I've done what I can do, Steve. I put out the word. That's all we want. We want to talk to him, but there isn't even any real evidence that he's still alive. Nobody's seen him since that UN fiasco. Well, if he is still alive, he'll see us. I can't see a Joker like that guy blowing free publicity. So basically, this idiot's playing with fire when you play with the Joker. What a moron, right? So first up, they find one of the Penguin's old stooges, interview him, and he tells the story. Basically, Alan Grant does, and Sam Keith art. The Penguin origin is okay. It wasn't it was all right. I wasn't super big on it. It was okay. Sam Keith is an interesting artist. I think he wishes he was Bernie Wrightson, but who doesn't? And then you had this really weird story with the Penguin, the Riddler, by BIM89. I still don't know who that is. Actually, I do know who it is. It's a conglomeration of artists, I think. So I don't know exactly. Matt Wagner inks, which means he did most of the work on this one. When is the door? The Secret Origin of the Riddler. And it's just a bunch of palaver about him basically lamenting all the needless, horrible violence in comics. He says basically this is it's the Frank Gorshin Riddler. Where were all these guys you never seen anymore? Bookworm, King Tut, Marsha Queen of Diamonds, Egghead. Where'd they all go? Batman and Robin were part of the fun. They were the straight men, but we were the stars. No one ever hurt anybody, not really. Nobody died. When you look around these days, it's all different. It's all changed. The Joker's killing people, for God's sake. Did I miss something? Was I away when they changed the rules? It was always a fun, interesting story. And he's in this big discarded yard where they have all the Dick Sprang, overly gigantic set pieces and all the props that from the old Dick Sprang comics, which is kind of funny. So it's a very curious but very interesting art for this one. Oh, Doc Fortune, you're not wrong. A lot of people love the Max now. The Max was very popular, yeah. So after that, we get a Two-Face origin, which, Mark Verheiden, your buddy Maddie's daddy, wrote this origin. I thought it was with art by Pat Broderick, inks by Dick Giordano. And I thought this was a pretty good one here. I won't go into too much of the details other than it is kind of the origin. They more or less stuck with it. They added some things here and there. They really screwed around with it with the Long Halloween. But to cut to the chase a little bit, this guy, he's called. So, viewers, we've seen what the criminals have to say, what their loved ones and friends have said about them, and what does the person on the street think? I'm down here on Atkins Street in downtown Gotham to find out. They scare me. Hey, hell, I don't believe in them. They're just something the government talks about. Maybe a CIA conspiracy like Batman. I read about it. I don't know. I don't think much about them that much. Well, New York's got mad cab drivers. We got crazy criminals in costumes. There's good and bad in all cities. You get it? You get by, whatever. That Catwoman, huh? What a broad, huh? I got a roster of her on my wall. I mean, a poster roster. Boy, this Prince man, and my eyes suck. My son-in-law was killed by the Mad Hatter. Costume criminals should get the death penalty. It's the only language these adults understand. Sorry, squad, I'm not from around here. Make that no comment. That's John Constantine. I think I interviewed John Constantine. Sorry, squad, I'm not from around here. I know he doesn't really talk like that. Sorry. When I grew up, I want to get a costume and a gimmick and be the one who kills Batman. That would be so cool. I had that penguin in my cab once. Big Tipper, he's okay in my book. We hate the city. We're moving to Florida. When we retire, we don't get those people down there. Whatever, okay. It's all exaggerated. I've lived in this city for 50 years, and I've never seen any of those creeps or Batman. I've never seen him either. My mom says if I'm bad, the Joker will come and get me. Worry about them? Listen, bud, the garbage strike's on in its 5th week. The elevator's on the fritz, and my daughter's just joined a skinhead rock band. I got better things to worry about. Man, they're cultural icons. Springsteen, the Joker, Donald Duck, and Bogart. Says it all, huh? So there you have it. Heroes or villains, pop icons or boogeymen. Boogeymen. The costumed criminals of Gotham City are here to stay. And wait, and what have we seen tonight? We've seen, I think you'll agree, some very sad people, some criminals, perhaps, but victims as well as victims of the system of the city. I'll leave you at home with one question to ponder. Without Batman, would there be a Penguin, a Riddler, a Two-Face, or a Joker? I'd like to thank the people of Gotham City thank them for their cooperation in making this Steve Jones Investigate special for Galaxy Broadcasting, the station with an edge. Go. So to all of you out there, from me, Steve Jones, here on the streets of Gotham City, God bless and God good, God good. He, ha, ha, ha. Look what happened to him, the jackass. Good night, Penny. So old Steve Aruski got his, didn't he? Joker. That was a pretty good issue, though. Pretty good issue of Secret Origins. And they had a lot of cool issues this week. Sometimes I like to just do this thing at random. See how many issues there was of this thing. 50 issues. What was number 50? 50 was pretty interesting. Womp, womp, womp. I have all of these, of course. Duh. Oh, thank you, Retro. This was, let's see, I just do it random sometimes, but I'm not going to necessarily review another one, but let me go like potluck here. Number 40. Let's see what number 40 is. I think I have every one of them. Oh my God, why did I land on this one? Crazy. The Apes issue. This is all about Secret Origins, all about the different ape characters. Gorilla Grodd, Kong Gorilla, Detective Chimp. Jeez. Oh man, you could do better than that. Issue 1's pretty interesting. It's the retelling of the Golden Age Superman's origin. Wayne Boring art too. Wayne Boring actually came back to do the art, and he did penciling on it. He must have been very old at this point, and it was inked by Jerry Conway. I mean Jerry Suckoff. Jerry Ordway. Sorry, Jerry. I didn't mean to insult you. I'm old. Hey, Joe Dog, what's up? Clobby, I'm scratching my head of casting actors for Green Lantern and James Gunn's Superman Legacy. Possible rumors say Nathan Fillion as Guy Gardner and Channing Tatum as Hal Jordan. Well, you know, I could see Nathan as Guy, I guess. A little bit old now, but you know, it's possible. Well, yeah, I mean, oh, absolutely, Maddie's daddy. Rest in peace. TV's first Lois Lane, Phyllis Coates. Also, Mark Goddard from Lost in Space passed away. Don West. Obviously, we know Suzanne Summers today. Piper Laurie, I think. It's brutal week. And of course, Keith Giveaway, we just finished talked about. Rough week. Let's see. Anyway, let me pick a random. Well, in fact, I'll let you guys pick a number. All right, Wagner, throw a number out there between 1 and 50. See what we have, just for the heck of it. Again, not a review, just so much. Just going to take a look at it. 48, dude. Are you cheating? Let's see. 48. Issue number 48 of Secret Origins. Look, you knew it was Ambush Bug. Perfect. That's a gift and tribute, though. Quag. Dude, you weren't picking at random, but that's cool. Damn it, dude. Love it, though. Just got the origin of Ambush Bug. Attention readers, Batman and Robin don't actually appear in this issue. You see, this is just our sneaky way of attracting your attention. We approached a lot of bankable stars when it's covered up. Rex the Wonder Dog by Joel Collins. Stanley and His Monster by Folio and Wilson Meisner Loebs. So, yeah. Cool. There's too much of a head spinner to review this right now, but I should have reviewed it. Look at the style that his art went to. And it's fine for Ambush Bug. It just didn't work for Legion, man. Ace, you heading out, bro? Good to see you, man. Glad you're out there, brother. Miss you big time, buddy. Please stop by more often. Come join me one night, man. Let's just talk some geekness, buddy. You got to come talk some comics soon, bud. All right. Well, we'll zip through it. Zip. Look at that. At the time when he did a lot of the big, fat, freaking frogs. Gasp. I come back as he would lower the comic book character I merchandise. January 2088. Look, DC got issued $39.95 cover price. That's about right today. It's issue number 326. I think it'll be more than that. January 2028. So this comic's coming out in the future, folks. DC Comics aren't just for reading. Oh, man. Approved by the Comics Code Authority. Yeah, it was. I like them apples. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Nice. Blue DL. All right, if you're not going to I'm going to pick a random number. 36. 36. For no reason. Green Lantern, Poison Ivy. Okay. Wonder who did the Poison Ivy one. I've seen way better versions of his origins. Sometimes they wouldn't have the greatest versions of the origins. Joe Staten, no thanks. Let's try another one. About 26. Because I've had these, but I haven't looked at them in years and years and years. Black Lightning and Miss America. All right. How about that? Yeah, probably because they both wear green gwag. That's a fair cup. It's a fair cup, but the saltiest to play. So you did these. Greg Brooks, never heard of him. Tony Isabella, wish I never heard of him. Just being silly. Writers, Grant Meme, artist. Boy, he took in some no names on this title, man. It must have been easy to get. God, it's nothing against it. Hey, I think it's cool. All right, let's try number 18. More back to Green Lantern. This time, Golden Age Green Lantern and Creeper. Wow, I like the combo. And look, it's Keith Giffen on the art and the plot for the Creeper story. How cool is that? We're having a Giffen night, man. It's just Keith staying with us. Ironheart said, Clobby, did you like Emerald Dawn, or did you feel they pulled some stuff with Hal Jordan's character? I'd say you nailed it. They did pull some stuff with Hal's character. I didn't like that, and I didn't like Emerald Dawn for a few reasons. I just didn't really care for the art much. So I think I read maybe an issue or two and tapped out. Probably didn't read the whole thing, to be honest. I did not like is it Staten that did that art on that one? Or so I'm afraid I did not like the art in particular back then at that point. Yeah, but there you go. Look at, man, that was totally by accident. Pick some Giffen stuff, man. Wow. Keith is directing us. And this art style, Jesus Christ, man. This is what his art changed to just over the course of a few years. I mean, contrast that, if you will. Contrast that, if you will, with this. I mean, I don't know why he did that, but well, as the kids say, 'tis what 'tis. 'Tis what it is. So that's a cool one to land on. We'll see. Who put Alan Scott art. Whoa. Sometimes they had some real crappy art in some of these, man. I got to tell you. But George Freeman was okay. It's just different. This guy that I think he created, or wasn't he one of the creators of Captain Canuck? George Freeman, or he worked for. I don't know if he worked on Captain Canuck. Anyway. So yeah. Let's do another one. We'll get out of here in a minute, I guess. 35. Justice in League International. Wow. And Booster Gold. How about again? How about 31? Yeah, I remember this one. Justice Society. I have this one. I have them all, but yeah, the big time artist didn't get handed a title like this, but it was still kind of cool. It's the Real Justice Society right there, sir. Let's see. Justice League International Issues by Keith Giffen and J.N. DeMonius was entertaining to read as I was introduced to Elizabeth turned checkmate villain Maxwell Lord. Yes, Oliver. Yes, it was a really fun book. Justice League International. Agreed. Absolutely. I loved it, especially the early issues. Let's see. Take a look at that a little bit by Giffen. May as well take a look at that, right? There we go. A cool comic. And McGuire art was just, oops, that's the annual. I didn't say the annual Jarkals. There we go. Now this is the trade paperback, damn it. Let me get it. Annual. So they only have the trade paperback instead of the regular issues scanned here. But after that, I mean, I have the trade. It's fine. I just want to get to the comic, man. Kevin McGuire was a good artist, though. The was it? I remember this artist. Remember this artist, Michael Bear. He did art for later on Alpha Flight. Yes. Classic Dr. Fate stories. It's because the first 6 issues were when the title was called Justice League. It became international after. Yeah, exactly. But they just went ahead and got sloppy and just got cheap and put the trade, which is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. But yeah, but you're right. That's why. But these trade scans are always too skinny sometimes. But they're okay. And it's very clean. It's cool. But yeah, it's true. It started with a different title. Let's see here. Dr. Fate. Did you ever see Giffen's Dr. Fate? Well, come on. Doctor Fate. Giffen's Dr. Fate. I loved his backup. Now, see, this Immortal Dr. Fate here is a reprint of first issue special. But man, it's a Walt Simonson art. Stories are okay. But look at this. Did you ever see this one? You can find this in 3, not prestige, but slick paper format stories. Paul Levitz and Joe Staten. They did the first one. That's right. But Mike Nasser inked him, so it doesn't look like Staten. So you can find these, and they're called. They come with these. There were these reprint books that came out in the like '85, and they have wraparound covers, but they're on slicker paper than usual. They were comic shops only. That's a Simonson cover. He did do the later ones. They were originally printed in first, as you see here, first issue special. And that's the first issue, obviously. And it has some old stuff in there too, like some it has reprints of some old Dr. Fates in there. It's kind of cool. Then this part here's got great Walt Simonson art. Very early Walt Simonson art, I might add. I'm gonna see if they did a trade of the Giffen ones. Here's number 2. Okay, these are the Giffen ones here. Okay, so this book, first it had that one. Then the second issue, let's see. I just got done reading Avengers issue 6 and Fantastic Four 2. I didn't know. Well, people are always complaining about, but Marvel comics are great. Says, well, there are zillions of number 6s and number 2s of those titles, but if you mean new ones, I don't like new stuff, but some people do, and you're entitled to Indie Key, and I'll say it here for let you say it even again. He says Marvel comics are great. There you go. I don't read any new stuff and won't be for a while, but some people do, and that's cool. And that's all up to you. Now, yes, Doc, these were, again, they're not, I don't know if they did a trade of this of the Immortal Dr. Fate or not. I don't know. Das Wolfen, what's up? But if you can track these down, they're fairly cheap. They're just reprints, but they're kind of cool. Now, this one, after those ones I just showed you were reprinted number 1, Keith Giffen in the back of The Flash for a while, along with Martin Pascoe, did a Dr. Fate series that I enjoyed. It had great art by Giffen. This, again, when Giffen's art was at its best for me. Larry Malstead inking him is great. Beautiful art on this series. In my opinion, you know, my opinions may vary. So there's this one. I try to get all 3 if I were you. I have them somewhere stocked away. They were short backups, like I said, in the back of Flash, the regular Flash comic at the time. But, you know, a few years earlier than this, obviously. But look at that, though. Indeed, I agree, Andy. It's like beautiful art by Keith Giffen and Larry Malstead, who was my favorite inker on Giffen. Again, in a tune with what he was about to be doing at the time on Legion. So much better than that twaddle he started doing later. It's just, I mean, why would you change this style, Keith? I love you, man, but come on. But wasn't up to me, was it? Life does that to you. I mean, this is incredible stuff. This is gorgeous work. I mean, look at just it's a great story and cool. I like Marty Pascoe, but the art alone is worth the price of admission on this stuff. This was the back of a Flash comic, man. And this one, they did it with these laser separator printers and this higher quality printing press for these reprints, so they look really, really nice. I mean, this is some great stuff. Yes, Gwag, I agree. Stay away from that 1994 Fate series. It's called Fate crap unless you don't want to see Kent Nelson. Isn't he not even in it or whatever? Or it's Inya or whatever? Look at this stuff, man. This is some of the finest art. You'll never even see it unless you'll go looking for it. Of that era and of now. They can't do comics like this now. Look at that. That's incredible. Amazing stuff. So I love it. And this is just issue number 2 here. Take a look at 3 in a second. It was Inja, yeah. So what? Yeah, it wasn't even way back then. They were making it. They were taking the male character out, of course. So for me, this would be the Doc Fate, and there's some color. It was on cover gallery. There were some covers, and so number 3, more Pascoe and Giffen stuff. In the back, first you have a World's Finest cover. Steve Gerber, Martin Pascoe, Malstead Wood. Incredible stuff. some of the unsung Giffen art that doesn't get shown enough, in my opinion. Incredible, man. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you, Doc Fortune. I'm glad you mentioned it because I wouldn't have thought about it. Without you, I would have totally forgotten about Giffen's Dr. Fate run, which I love. And so I thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that because we pay tribute to him on this Legion stuff and on his ambush bug and on his defenders and all that other stuff. And I even called some of the stuff he did that I wasn't so fond of. But this, has to be mentioned. And I'm glad you helped me with that. Jesus, man, he was just, good Lord. You look at this stuff all day. Beautifully colored, by the way. You cannot, a big collaborative effort there. Again, I have no idea why you changed your style from that, Keith, but you will be missed. You are missed. I love Dr. Fate, by the way. Oh, my goodness. Look at that stuff. Yepper. Pass a little bit more of this here. Take forever to show it all, but it's and like I said, that it's the Immortal Dr. Fate, probably easy enough to track down too. It's all in reprints, and so hey, I don't think they ever did a trade of it. Just the these issues, but they're in nice shape. They're nice copies, because they're in high quality paper. Oh, cool. Take your namesake from Dr. Fate. Well, there you go. Doc. Looks like Giffen did layouts. Larry Mouse did the finishing touches. Mouse was underrated, man. Look at that guy. Great inker. I need Hungry Boys to be seeing this. Talking about comic art and stuff. That would be cool. Yeah. Well, finish that up a little bit. Oh my God, man. Look at that. Just every time I find a cooler page, beautiful stuff. Well, Doc Fate is a great character. I actually kind of like him more than I like Doctor Strange to be. And I like Doctor Strange. I guess I don't know, something about him. I like his costume better than Doctor Strange. I don't care if it's silly. I love them both almost equally, really, but and their costume almost equally, but there's something about that damn helmet, man. He's a bad mother, that Dr. Fate. God, this is just gorgeous stuff. I remember at the time when this was in the back of that Flash comic, I'd stopped buying Flash because the art got really crappy. Then they started putting this in the back of it. I'm like, oh man. For a short time, of course. I think they even had Firestorm in the back of Flash for a while. Yeah. Doctor Strange, Fate from Amalgam. We'll have to look at those Amalgam books one day. I can't remember who did the art on that one. Some of the art was good on some of those, and some of those not so good. Obviously, that's the way it always is. But some of them I liked. They should do a big trade on them. You think they do a hardcover of this sucker? But they don't even know about it. Nobody at DC knows about this. But they have one sucker at DC Comics right now. If Jeff Johns and Jim Lee, if they're still there, they might know about this. Jeff Johns would know about this existence of this comic. But I guarantee to you this, probably nobody, none of these morons at DC even know about this right here, what we're looking at. You realize half of when we look at the obscure stuff here, idiots who work at DC Comics probably don't even know about it anymore. Speaking of Dr. Fate and Keith Giffen, there's an issue of JLI where Kent Nelson goes into Blue Beetle's mind, and the only thing in Beetle's mind is an endless sea of hot chicks. Well, who could blame him? I liked of those amalgam, but I kind of liked was it Super Patriot and by Dave Gibbons, I think, and I liked the Busek one, Iron Lantern. I kind of like Challengers of the Fantastic for obvious reasons. So, fun stuff. And I liked, what was it? I think that I only bought a few of them. I didn't buy them all. So, yeah, I went by the art kind of. Some of the art was kind of crappy, I thought, in some of them. But it was cool. Super Soldier, sorry. Thank you. Super Patriot's a stupid Image character. I apologize. Eric Larson. Ugh. You're right. Super Soldier. Thank you, Gwag. But I thought that was pretty cool. They're fun. They're fun for a while anyway. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't buy them all. I don't think. I think those are the ones I bought. I didn't buy Dark Claw. I didn't buy that one. Spider Boy. I didn't buy Doctor Strange Fate. I don't think anyway. Don't think about that one either. Well, folks, I've had you here for 2 hours, and it's been fun. I really do appreciate you hanging out. It's been a great time, and I'm just going to start closing up here and get moving on with the rest of the night. I want to thank everyone who's been with us tonight. Of course, again, rest R.I.P. Keith Giffen. Good night, J.D. Lewis. Are you running out? Good to see you, buddy. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. And I hope you're feeling better and doing well. And have a great night. R.I.P. Keith Giffen, Suzanne Summers, Noel Neal, Piper Laurie, Mark Goddard, and who knows? Dick Butkus. Just a few weeks before, like a week before that. A lot of big names. Who knows whom else? So, and a big shout out, as always, of course, the great Mark C., who we always miss and name the show after and dedicate it all to him. And big shout out to the great Mark D with the C, who's a little under weather. If you're out here, if you're listening, buddy, we wish you the best and hope you're sleeping and getting some rest. But if you're not, then get your ass to sleep and get some rest, dude, and feel better. And we miss you, man. We hope to see you back soon. Just get on you. Just take your time and heal up, bro. And so show notes and shout outs are as follows. I will be on. Good night, Doc Fortune. Thank you. Let's see. Midnight's Edge After Dark. Tuesdays and Thursday nights, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Let's see. I'll be here for my wild card Wednesday night. Back here, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Same Clobby time, same Clobby channel. The Clubhouse. Same Clobby time, same Clobby channel. 9 p.m. Central Standard Time with Raquel and hopefully Mark. Hopefully both of them will be here, but I'll be here either way. I'll be here, and I hope they will. We'll see. Friday night, of course, my great buddy J-Man and Sean we're reviewing with our continued reviews of the Fourth World, Jack Kirby's Fourth World. Can't wait for that. As always, we have a fantastic time on Friday nights. That is, of course, 7 p.m. Eastern. At 8:30 Central, my great buddy Nick Weiser on the Friday Night Comic Shop Talk. I'm there with those boys. It's a lot of fun. And then, of course, I had a Saturday Night Star Trek thingy. I don't know what I did with it. Anyway, Saturday Night Star Trek on the Saturday night. And Monday nights, back at J-Man's, doing our Legion review. I've got a weird thing in my ear. So, L.R. Harrison, hey there, good to see you. Good night, Retro Nerd Girl. In fact, I'm going to say our goodbyes here. Our shout outs now. The great Eric K. They get shouted out whether they're here or not. Chris Persia, D. Bud Martin, and Lady Thoth, J-Man, Super Wrench Kal-El, Maddie's Daddy, Phantom Outsidery, Max Redstone. And of course, who is here with us tonight? The great Retro Nerd Girl. Retro Nerd Girl, everyone please go to her channel and subscribe if you would. Love you. So glad to see you. Oliver Belamonte, thank you for being here. Gwagnar, thanks, buddy. Great to see you here. Larry, thank you for stopping in, man. Alaric Harrowson, Das Wolfen, Doc Fortune, J.D. Lewis. Let's get them all shouted. Ironhide 84. Thank you. Indie Key Comics, Oliver Belamonte. Let's see who else was. Carlos Megas. Ace Cast Iron Brother. Thank you, buddy, for being here with us tonight. Appreciate you, man. Miss you big time. Bro Grew. Ely Chow. Roll Tide, and congrats on your win tonight. Minimusness. We'll see her tonight. Penny. Ravenscroft. World Wizard Captain Infinity. Captain Infinity, sorry. Captain Infinity. Oh, Captain Infinity, one word. Captain Infinity and beyond. Should you say it that way? Get it easier. Make sure I got everybody. All right. Well, your Muslim uncle. See. I wonder if I got everybody already. I got everybody. Dave C. Picasso. Dadman. And that's it. Looks like I got everybody. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, D-Bud. Appreciate that, buddy. Good night, everybody. Have a fantastic night and have a great, great week.
Clobberin time! Clobberanimo! I just love clobbering time.